Welcome to Unleash the Awesome with Dave Gambrill. All of us have unique skills, talents, and abilities that aren't being used to their full potential. Our mission is to share the people, tools, apps, and other resources that will help you unleash your awesome on the world.
Yo, what's up? It's Dave. Welcome to another episode of Unleash the Awesome. Today we're going to talk about the secret framework that Brendon Burchard used to build a multi-million-dollar empire online. If you're not familiar with Brendon Burchard, go Google him. You'll learn a lot of good stuff about him. He's written a number of New York Times bestsellers. He's got a whole bunch of products and services in the marketplace. Some of his books include Life's Golden Ticket and Motivation Manifesto. And I've been to a number of his events, including Experts Academy and High Performance Academy, World's Greatest Speaker Training. He's got a huge empire. He's got a podcast, the HPX Podcast. I'll make sure links to all this stuff are in the show notes. But Brendon Burchard is a personal growth and development and marketing machine. I actually went to his Experts Academy probably, 7 or 8 years ago. And I was just floored by some of the stuff he taught there. And his stuff isn't commonly available online unless you go to his events. And then sometimes you can get access to his longer keynotes and things like that. But there is a keynote that he did for our friends over at Kajabi that I can link to in the show notes. And he talks about some of the things I'm going to share with you today, including the secret framework. It's probably not so secret, but I guess if you've never heard of it before, it is a secret. And many people are not doing this, and it's such a simple thing. But it's how you can create an empire online that is somewhat automated, if not fully automated. And that's where the real power is, because a lot of people are building their side hustles with the idea of leaving their full-time job. And then when their side hustle becomes their full-time thing, it consumes them. You've heard that saying about you don't own a business owns you. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're creating scenarios and situations that are worse probably than what they got into. Now they have the freedom and the flexibility of having their own job or their own business, so they don't have to go to a job and do the 9 to 5 and all those things. But still, it gets crazy because a lot of people will back themselves into a corner because they're not doing this thing. So what is this thing? Well, you've heard me before talk about build your email list. I talk about it all the time. I dedicated a whole episode of this podcast to that. It is the foundation for having success online. I fully believe that. And one of the things Brendon does is he has this 3-step framework, and it's basically 3 letters, and it's not even 3 letters. It's actually 2 letters because one is repeated. So if you are not ready to write something down or take some notes, now would be the time, because here's the secret. Are you ready? It's called OVO. OVO. That stands for opt-in, value, offer. Opt-in, value, offer. What that means is this. Online, you should create a very simple framework, a funnel, an email sequence, whatever you want to call this, where you are capturing someone's email address, maybe their name and email address, an opt-in page, squeeze page, some people call it. You can build a lead magnet, an opt-in magnet, something to get people to give you their name and email address, a trade, a barter, if you will, right? You create a resource or a video or a PDF or something to say, hey, if you want all this cool stuff, just enter your name and email address and I'll see you on the other side, or I'll see you on the next page, or I'll send it to your email or whatever. That's the opt-in page, the opt-in piece. And then once you get them to opt in, there's lots of ways to deliver the value part. And some people deliver this value part in multiple steps, but we're just going to talk about it as one basic category here. The value piece then is, number 1, give them the thing you said you were going to give them when they opted in. But number 2, over deliver. On the thank you page that you set up, maybe do a small training there. Maybe you send them a series of emails over the next couple days or weeks where you teach some follow-up sequences or some follow-up frameworks or some follow-up information to that original thing that they opted in for. And you don't even have to let them know that. Just surprise them with it. Send the thing And then maybe 2 days later, I typically will send the thing again just to say, hey, I know your inbox is crowded. Just want to make sure you saw this. By the way, here's a follow-up, or here's some ongoing teaching. And you might already have a video out on YouTube or a podcast episode or something that you can link to and say, hey, you know what? I did a deeper dive on this thing on this episode or over on this video or whatever. Just click here to check it out. And over the next 7 to 10 days, maybe every other day, kind of depends on how well people already know, like, and trust you and how technical your stuff is. But over the next few days, just send some more value pieces. Hey, here's a follow-up to this. Here's a follow-up to that. Hey, check this out. I thought if you like this thing, maybe you'll like that thing. It's all related. And so that's the second piece, the value. Okay, so we have the opt-in, and then the value, and then the offer. And this is where a lot of people just fail. They don't put an offer in there. And by an offer, we mean something to sell. What is it that you are selling or offering? And generally speaking, if people don't know you, it usually starts as a low tier offer, something probably below $97, $99, whatever. Maybe it's an ebook, maybe it's a mini course, maybe it's a small training, maybe it's a sprint challenge or something that you're going to do to help people do whatever it is you're teaching or offering, something small, right? So that you can at least, now that you've built some trust with these people, right? Because people will only buy from folks that they know, like, and trust. And so now you built some trust, you built some reciprocity, which is what Dr. Robert Cialdini talks about in his book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. If you have not read that, by the way, highly, highly recommend it. And so you've built up all this reciprocity, this social capital, this social equity, whatever you want to call it, with this person, because you've given them the thing they wanted. You've helped solve a problem, probably. And now you've created all this value, and you've helped them move along, or avoid some pain or move towards some pleasure, whatever the case may be. And now you just say, hey, if you liked all that, the next logical step would be to buy this, or invest in this, or join us on this journey, or join us on this challenge. Or one of the things I know now is that if you're going to implement, you probably need this tool, or you need some accountability, or whatever. There's all kinds of things you can put in there for your low tier offer, but have something there, have something available for people to buy and to then become a buyer. It's one thing to create an email list of just leads and prospects. It's another thing entirely to then have a subsegment on your list of buyers, because now that you know that these people are willing to take action, they're willing to invest money to help solve their problems. So that's kind of what the basic framework, right? The basic secret, if you will, is OVO, opt-in, value, offer. And the more of those things that you have running successfully in the marketplace, the more automated your business probably is, and the more relaxed you can be about having to go find leads and prospects all the time and sell your stuff all the time. Because if you get something like that running and it's converting, right? You can't just build something like that and then not have people buying. But once you get it tweaked enough to the point where people are buying, then that thing just runs, and that becomes your front end offer, the way that people come to know, like, and trust you, the way that people get the first step on your value ladder, if you will. And then once you march people through that, which may not be as automated, maybe you have a course and you can drip out some content or whatever. And Kajabi is the platform I use for my course management. I'll make sure you have a link to get a full trial, actually, in the comments or in the show notes for you. But you could drip out the content, you can do all these things, and maybe you do a live call, maybe you do a live check-in with people, maybe you do a Facebook Live in a Facebook group, whatever. So maybe that part's not fully automated, but it could be. It could be a course that you drip out or whatever, just information that you've already put out there. We could talk about creating content and courses and the strategy behind that some other time. But I just want you to get your head wrapped around the idea, if you've never done this before, the basic framework is OVO. Opt-in, right? Build your email list. Opt-in, value. Add a tremendous amount of value. Over-deliver, right? UPOD, under-promise, over-deliver. Give them a ton of stuff. Surprise them with things. And what I have found, my friend Marisa Murgatroyd taught me on the thank you page, you should probably give them a quick win. Get them some momentum, right? So that's how you can over-deliver there and add some value right away on the thank you page for the opt-in. And then the offer, sell something, right? You have to sell something. And the cool thing is, if you are sending out valuable content that's helping people, one of the things I'll do in my sequences is I'll say, hey, what did you learn today? Or what did you think you were going to learn, but you didn't learn? Or now that you know this, what questions do you have? Just hit reply and let me know. All right, so I'll build that into the sequences. And then people will give me the information that they're looking for. And then I can tweak the offer that I have or build a follow-on offer or whatever the case may be to help address those questions that come up. And then people are like, man, you gave me exactly what I needed. How did you know? Like, were you in my head? Well, no. I asked you what you wanted. I asked you what your problem was. And then I created a thing to help solve that problem. That's kind of what it comes down to. All right. So again, to review, Brendon Burchard's secret framework for success in building a multi-million-dollar platform online is OVO, opt-in, value, offer. So if you're not already doing that in your business, in your side hustle, whatever, I would encourage you to spend some time looking in how to make that happen. And I share stuff like this. I share resources. I share tools. I share the frameworks and methodologies over in my digital marketing mentorship Facebook group. I'll put a link in the show notes for you. But if you just search it on Facebook, digital marketing mentorship, you should be able to find it. So if you want some help, if you want some follow-on information, if you want to figure out then how to execute on this framework, we talk about that every single day over there. So I'd love to have you join us. And until next time, I would encourage you to go unleash your awesome on the world. See ya.
Thanks for listening to Unleash the Awesome. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please share us on your favorite social media platforms using #UnleashAwesome.